Welcome to Just Minded My Business Media LLC, where you get information that you can use. I'm your host, Ida Crawford. But before we dive in, subscribe to Just Minded My Business on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Share Just Minded My Business with your family, friends, and colleagues. Engage with us by leaving a review or comment. Your support keeps this podcast going and growing. Visit our website at jmmbmediallc.com to learn how we can support you in getting more visibility on your products and services. So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use. Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media. I'm your host, Ida Crawford. We're happy that you stopped by. Get more visibility on your products and services. Learn more at jmmbmediallc.com. If you can offer a free tier that provides a lot of value, it will naturally help your product to spread much more rapidly. Melanie Perkins, co-founder of Canva. Today, I am so happy to bring to you Jasen Arias with over a decade of experience. Jasen is a co-founder of Go Big Formula, a company dedicated to helping experts and entrepreneurs build their abundant lifestyle businesses by harnessing their expertise and voice. He's passionate about empowering clients to generate and convert leads, expand their audience, and increase their impact and revenue. Wow. In 2021, Jasen launched a podcast that quickly achieved top 25 status in its niche on Apple iTunes, showcasing his exceptional ability to connect with his audience and provide valuable content. By year end, he joined forces with Pete Vargas and Grant Cardone to coach clients on using speaking opportunities to grow their business, with working with influential names such as Lisa Nichols, Taylor Welch, Stormy Wellington, and Marissa Megatroid, to name a few. Wow, Jasen, you've been a busy bee.
Try to be. Got to keep the ball rolling, right?
Yes, we did. Wow. So let's jump right in. Your company, Go Big Formula.
Yep.
Talk about what that does, how that helps experts and entrepreneurs.
Well, so let me just kind of take a minute and my frustration in the small business world. So like I've been a lifelong entrepreneur and I've tried starting like all the businesses and things like that. And so the number of times that I've been sitting there frustrated that I can't get the needle to move on things is more than I can count. Like it just like there's nothing worse. And tell me if you've been here, Ida, when you have all of this hope, like you've got your new marketing idea, you're going to put something together, you've rented out like a space in a magazine ad. I don't know if I've done the magazines, you've taken a new social media class, whatever it is, and you go out, you hit the play button after spending weeks, if not a month or two, and all the money and the graphics, and you know that this is going to be that thing that finally clicks and gets you rolling, and then it just doesn't. Like it just dies. And it is such a defeating feeling.
Yes, it is.
And and when I went and I was working with Pete and Grant, we would work with, all of these big people and they were doing great things. But I would see them able to communicate with an audience and collect all of those audience as leads and customers, and not just like not just any kind of leads, like leads that actually wanted to work with them, like, right, because there's a big difference, right? So I can run a Facebook ad and I get a bunch of people who are potentially interested in learning more about what I do that may or may not respect me as a business,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's not what this was. And so it was fascinating and very inspirational to see these people speaking on stages, speaking on podcasts, and doing all these things. And they had people that were, I mean, sometimes begging them to work with them. Like what a drastic difference.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to harness. Like I wanted to figure out how to do that. And I wanted to figure out a way to offer it to people in a very affordable, consumable way so that people can create an ROI. Because here's the other thing, Ida. If you've ever worked with a marketing agency, a lot of them will want to do like a retainer, like a $2,500 a month retainer,
Mm-hmm.
or they pay up front. Well, they tell you this is going to be $15,000 for your website, and you pay half up front, and then you can do payments afterwards. And there's no promise on that return, like that it's actually going to make you money or save you any. Like, so I've got all this stuff, and that's what the Go Big formula was founded on, is teaching people how to use speaking opportunities, and then pricing it so affordably that, I mean, really anybody can afford to jump in and give it a try, and there's no like major commitments. And and the end goal, the purpose, is to attract an audience of people that want to work with you, as
Yes.
opposed to you were just asking them to work with you. Like the difference between when you're working with people that you're like, hey, would you like to do business with me, as opposed to customers that are coming to you being like, please help me. It's such a night and day difference.
Yes. Yes, it is. Wow. And, I can relate to all of what you just said. And everybody has the magic thing that is going to generate the revenue. But then once you get into it, it doesn't work.
So you know what's cool? So here's the thing, and this is going to sound cliche, but I really want to make sure that we put a slightly different spin on it. But you are the magic thing. There's no website that's going to do this for you. There's no Facebook ads. There's no, like, you have to learn how to become the magic thing. And you can do that by focusing in on something that you genuinely love and are passionate about. And so I like, what I mean by this is that sometimes when we think of like speakers or podcast guests, a lot of the clients that we work with, they're like, well, I don't have a big story. Like I don't have this fancy story that, or sad story that I was left on the doorstep of a firehouse, and they didn't know that I was there, and I slept outside for 3 weeks and lived with the cats. Like there's no, like, they don't have a story, so they don't think that they can be powerful on a podcast or speaking to an audience. But what we really show people is that, you can be passionate about playing chess. Let's, like, I'll literally just let's say you play chess. I've been to New York, but I've never been down to that area where people play like chess, like down in the park. Like we've seen it in the movies, right? I've never
Yes.
been there. Never been there at all. You could be somebody that spends a significant amount of time down there, an okay chess player, but you don't have to be an insane chess player. And there's an audience out there that wants to learn about your experiences playing street chess.
Hmm.
And there's podcasts out there that want to, I would say that there's podcasts about unique New York experiences, or there's going to be chess podcasts, or there's going to be, unique hobby like there's so many different. And to go on there, you can become an inspirational person because you get to speak about something that you're passionate about,
Hmm.
and that audience will naturally be drawn in. That is how you become that magic.
Wow. Wow. And we see speakers all the time that draw you in
All the time.
all the time. I mean, I know a few personally that, draw me in. Now, to get to that place, in terms of becoming a speaker, it can be very expensive to get the training and things that you need. So, with your company, how do you bring people in? How do you
Well, so there's two aspects to really what I learned. One, there's learning how to connect with an audience.
Mhm.
And the number one way to connect with an audience is just being a genuine, authentic version of yourself.
Yes.
Getting away from scripts, getting away from all of those kind of things. Um, and and you can learn, actually, you don't have to learn how to be authentic, but you can learn that when you go and you speak in certain locations, you don't have to go by a a, um, a social structure. I was talking with a client yesterday. She has her own podcast, and she's going as a guest on other podcasts. And one of the number one mistakes that you can make as a any level speaker is when somebody finally gives you the stage, if you just go into like, my name's Jasen Arias, I've been in the industry for this long, these are my accomplishments, here's the things that I do, I remember, like if you go into that routine, people are so used to it and they already know
Mhm.
kind of what you're going to say. I heard somebody talking about today, they said you flagged yourself that this is a time that it's time to break out your phone and check your messages, because this is just white background noise. Right. And so part of what we do is we have like an entire education series that you can go through, and you can learn about some of the ways that we suggest structuring a talk and identifying your story and learning how to take control of an opportunity of speaking. Because here's the other thing, Ida, as a good podcast host, I'm a talker, but you will have people on the show sometimes that they're not great talkers. They're asking you to lead the conversation. And
Right.
as a good podcast host, that's what you're going to do. But a good podcast host can actually hurt the ROI for a guest speaking on a podcast.
Mhm.
And that happens because, like, what I want to get to today. So one of the things we'll and I'm just going to be super transparent so your audience can like listen for some of this stuff. What I want to end up talking to you guys about today is how to create a free offer that people are drawn to and want to download.
Mm.
Now, if I just let you ask me all of the questions and I'm just going to be kind of free willy and we're going to end up talking about when I was a kid, or we're going to talk about this, we'll never get to that.
Mhm.
Right. And so we never end up getting to the part that I want to share. And in that part that I want to share is a tool. So so I'm going to end up sharing like a website that you can go and you can download how to build free offers. And anybody who's interested in that will then have the opportunity of downloading that. And that creates a potential lead for
Mm.
me. Now, if you do this correctly, one, hosts love it because you're helping their audience. Two, you're not selling anything.
Right.
Like I'm happy to sit here and talk about my business, but nobody really wants to hear about what it costs, or like that's like they like teach me something. Right.
Yes.
So like so we're gonna teach people some of the most valuable things about creating free offers.
Okay. Well,
But then
that's
the other part too is that our software gives you the tools to be able to do all this. So it's not just the education program, it's the education plus the back end software tools so that you can get all of this built out. And we even have some of it pre-built for people.
wow. That's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Because I know a lot of people are struggling to try to find customers, period.
Yeah.
And it can be and I've been there before, I mean, and then there's times when I'm there again.
Yep.
So to be able to be consistent with leads and people that actually want what you have. That's that's like the dream for many business owners.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about so much of what I learned about working with Pete and Grant and Pat and all of these amazing people. Um, with this method, you're in control of that. Like we're in the holiday. This is being recorded in the holidays, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we're at the mercy of what other people want to spend on Facebook ads and social media ads, on what it's going to cost us to find clients through social media. We are at the mercy of everybody else over marketing, endless Black Friday deals, endless in your, like, it is so difficult to stand out in front of anybody right now because everybody's just dumping endless amounts of money into the marketing, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm here on this podcast with you, and you'll have a title on the podcast, and it was a title that I actually shared with you. So I've given you a start, that a title that you could use for this talk. Um, and I know that your audience, when they tune in, is going to be naturally inclined to want to devote a certain amount of attention to this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to spend any money for that. And I'm already getting an audience that is hyper focused in wanting to learn more about this topic. So it becomes easy to stand out. Now I can take my time. Like if I wanted to be on 10 podcasts this month, I can invest the time into getting onto those podcasts because my back end systems are all set up. I have my topics that I can talk about, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't cost me anything but the time that I'm investing into getting on to a podcast or finding speaking opportunities. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ida, the most difficult part of your job as a host is finding quality guests.
Yes. But I
And
mean,
so,
right now it's not anymore. I get
no,
it.
you're finding good ones.
Yes, I'm finding
Good.
really good people. It was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like begging people. Now I wake up and there's tons in my
And
email.
you're full. Yeah. But the higher quality guest that you can become, the more desirable you are to work on podcasts or local networking events or live stages. Like, and again, like we can go back, it's not, you don't have to be a polished speaker in order to be a valuable speaker.
Yes. And I've learned that in this business of podcasting, I've interviewed people of that never even been on a podcast. I was there first. And, and it was like their message, even though they weren't polished or anything like
Right.
that, but their message was so powerful that you overlook that.
Right.
And they were speaking from the heart because, like you said, authenticity is very, very important. Just be who you are. And that's one of the reasons why with my shows, I don't, people may want me to ask certain questions, but I just like the flow.
Conversation's the best way to go.
I just like the flow. Whatever pops up, pops up.
There's just too much inauthenticity out there right now that people are just
Mm,
are thirsty for, like, real, something that feels real.
yes, and I like real,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't send questions, things like that. If you want me to talk about something, you can also send me a question, but for the most part, let's just flow.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's I mean, that's a very long drawn out story from where we started at this, but like having that awakening and being able to gift that to people and show people that path, um, it's been a game changer for network marketers. It's been a game changer for coaches that are just trying to stand out. People who don't think that they have an audience, and being able to learn how to go out and capture that audience. It's been really fun watching those people have wins and it's costing them $100 or $200 a month as opposed to $6,000, $12,000, and they get nothing back from it. Like that's been huge. It's as a entrepreneur to entrepreneur, by far the biggest win I've ever felt.
Wow. And I'm happy to hear that. I see a lot of lives a lot of times on Facebook. Some not so good,
Yeah.
some good. What's your thoughts on that?
On which on the
Doing lives on a regular basis.
um okay, so let's back up a little bit. So any time that you can speak to anybody,
Mhm.
there's a value.
Okay.
Most people are wasting that value because here's the thing. The people that we typically want to emulate, I refer to them, they have like an X factor.
Mm-hmm.
So they can say things and they're charismatic and they're good looking and they're funny. They're all these like natural things that 99.9% of people are not going to be able to emulate. And
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't work. It just,
Mm-hmm.
there's something like these people can go out and just say random stuff and it works. It just draws an audience to them and it is fine. But for everybody else, you need to really, you need to learn how to identify who it is that you want to attract.
Mm-hmm.
So a good example of a mistake that I made with this in the past is we used to own a dog photography studio, and I built an email list of 12,000 people, but these 12,000 people just wanted free dog stuff. They didn't want photos. So my message and the way that I was drawing them in was creating a bad audience for me that ended up being worthless. So a lot of times we do this. After you identify who they are, you have to identify what their problem is. And most people have like lots of problems. But then out of those problems, you identify which ones that you can help fix. Those become the topics that you want to communicate on.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like I help people with everything that we've been talking about, like connect and identify audiences, build the back end systems, all these things. If I go live and I show a picture of my food, it's absolutely meaningless and worthless. And it's actually alienating the people that I want to connect with, and maybe might bring in somebody who happens to love that restaurant that could care less about lead generation.
Yes, absolutely.
And so all of this live stuff that people are doing, they're doing it with just well, here's the trap. They do it from a place of authenticity, right? So it's a mom. She's like, I just want to show that I'm a cool mom, hanging out with my kids, doing fun things. Well, but if your audience that you're asking to spend money with you doesn't care about these kind of things, you're not helping your brand. You're actually creating brand confusion.
Mm, and I see that a lot.
Yep.
I see, especially on TikTok. It's like the stuff I see on there is like unreal. Wow. So if people want to work with you, how do they connect?
I mean, you can reach out to me directly. You can email me at Jasen at Go Big Formula. It's Jasen. But what I would encourage you to do is like check out the website, go to the free. So we haven't even really talked about it. So what are the other big parts to this? I know we still got a couple minutes.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
sweet, sweet,
absolutely.
sweet. Okay, so let's go back to that the live thing real quick, because I told you this is one of the things I wanted to tap on is if I'm out there helping somebody, let's say I do a live, I've identified a topic,
Mm-hmm.
I give actionable advice, something that people can go and do, whether they work with me or not. I want them to see a change. And then I need to provide a tool that will support in that change. So, for example, these are what we call free offers, irresistible free offers. You see these on landing pages, they're the top of funnels, all of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's three things that an irresistible free offer needs to have. Okay, so this is the education part of this talk that you're on. There's three things. It needs to be something that is quick, meaning so a bad free offer. Books are a bad free offer. Consultations are a bad free offer. 60-day challenges, bad free offers, because it takes time.
Time.
So
Hmm.
if I so the book is the one that always throws people like, no, I've got a book. It's a great free offer. It's I'm going to argue that it's not, and this is why. If I give, let's say I gave everybody that listens to this my book, they download it and they go use it, or they download it, and then I follow up with them and I say, oh man, I just wanted to check to see how you felt about my book. What percentage of people do you think is actually going to read that book?
Right.
So now I've
Absolutely.
created a barrier because they will read it someday. And
Hmm.
now if I reach out to you and I say, I don't, man, I'm just curious on how you felt about reading my book, you're gonna be like, you know what, Jason, I haven't had a chance yet. I'm gonna read it this weekend, then I'll get back to you. Ain't gonna happen. Right. Or you just don't answer my phone call because you haven't read my book. I gave you something for free. And right. So now there's a bad exchange here. It takes too long. 60-day challenges. It's the likelihood of me finishing something over 60 days ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Scheduling an appointment, saying, hey, do you want it? Like, I would love to do a free consultation for you. Yeah. Let me look. Let me call my wife and see if she's available.
Mhm.
I'll get back to you. Not going to happen. So these
Effort.
are all like really bad free offers. You can identify a great free offer when, like, if you've ever been to a conference and they put up a slide and
Mhm.
people take out their phones and they start taking a picture of it. It's something that people want access to because it can make a quick change. I was at a networking event where somebody was sharing the text messages that they send out to potential clients. Now, if that woman up on stage would have been like, I know you guys love this. If you go to myfreetextmessages.com, you can download the entire list and you can use them. How many people in that audience do you think would have downloaded that list?
I would have been the first one.
Every single one of them, right? So it's something that's really quick. Now, one
Yes.
of my mentors said, don't ever ask anybody to do something during one of your talks. And I agree with that. But your free offer should be so valuable and so quick to use that you can't keep people from doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's got to be quick. It has to be valuable. So another mistake that people make with these free offers is that they carrot the value. So if you've ever been on Facebook or Instagram and they say, in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to take 10 yards off your swing. And then you get to 2.5 minutes. And it's
Yes.
like, if you can wait another 7 minutes, I'm going to oh my God, don't do that. Like, just give them things that they can actionably take, whether they do it or not, or whether it's going to be create a client for you or not. Give them actual stuff that they can use. So it has to be quick. It has to be valuable. And the last part is it has to create an actual change in their life.
Hmm.
Okay. So for example, I'm working with like a lot of nutritionists right now. If you can give them a list, like as a free offer, here's 10 things that everybody should remove out of their pantry that are causing these issues in their with their health or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And I feel like, here's my list. I can go to my pantry and I can throw bad stuff away. Instant win. It's very quick. It's very valuable. Instant win that I can feel right away.
Okay.
Now when I go and I reach out to them, so let's say I was a business owner and I say, hey, Ida, I noticed that you downloaded that list. I would love to hear about the 3 to 5 things that you noticed in your pantry right away that you got rid of.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, I got rid of this. I got rid of this. I got like, you see the difference,
Yes, I do immediately. Yes.
right? And so it now it creates an opportunity, because here's what we do. Now you can say, hey, those were 10. I know this can be confusing. If you want to sit down for 15 minutes and pick my brain about what else could be in your house that's hurting your family, I'm more than happy. Here's a link to schedule some time with me.
Hmm.
So that the progression of this is so much different. And so in this, right? So I'm moving back out to the coaching mode a little bit. So I've taught everybody these things. If you go to buildfreeoffers.com, there's an entire tutorial. Like, there's a PDF that you can download. And this is real. So all your listeners, go to buildfreeoffers.com. You can download exactly everything that I just went through, fill it out. It'll help you build your free offer
Mm.
and build out this entire system. And so here's how it all like stacks together, because now anybody that goes and downloads that, I know that they're interested in building free offers, which naturally aligns with what it is that I'm doing. And I don't have to, it's never about selling. It's simply about helping.
Yes. Yes. Always about helping and making a difference. Absolutely. Wow, Jason, this was, and you made it so seamless and so easy. You know, it's like you feel like, why didn't I think of that? And so again, how do people connect with you?
Well, start with by going to buildfreeoffers.com. Like I want you to take advantage of the gift, like use it, learn from it, things like that. I'm assuming my contact information will probably be down here.
Oh yeah,
Go to
absolutely.
gobigformula.com. We do a free trial. You can learn, like we have recordings. So you get access to all of our free education. You get access to all the free software. Sign up, start going through all of those trials, learning. Like the very first thing that we teach people is how to identify an audience. And it's different than just saying an avatar. Like most people say, like, um, this will be a little bonus thing. If anybody in your audience or any you talk to anybody and you say, oh, who do you work with? If their first word that comes out of their mouth is people, they're off track. So if they say people who are ages 35 to 55 interested in getting into real estate, it's you don't have your audience. What you want to get it narrowed down to is to something that's very specific,
Mm-hmm.
in that you're saying, oh, who do you work with? Oh, I help single moms buy their first home. My sister's a single mom. She'd definitely be interested in talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
because using that example, if I would have said, oh, I help people buy their first home, well, that guy probably knows a lot of people that help other people buy their first homes. But if I specialize in helping single moms buy their first home, I can almost guarantee you he doesn't know anybody else that specializes in that.
Right. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's really where we start. We start there, and then we identify, like, and this is all recorded. It's all free education. Like, go and use it. Like that is what I want people to start having access to, is that feeling of like, oh, I can do this. This makes it so much easier. I I know exactly how to create my social media content, because I know I'm creating content for single moms who are looking at buying their first home, and I know the problems that they are absolutely going to have. So that's what's going to be my social media content. And I'm going to build a free offer on how single moms can create a budget making less than $50,000 a year to be able to buy their first home. Like, it all falls into place when you start putting this stuff together.
Yes. Wow. This has been amazing, Jason. Eatherbomb.com.
I don't know if I own that one.
Well, I'm just like, I can't wait to get over to your website and peruse around. And I know my audience is gonna definitely be over there because the way you presented it, it makes sense, and it cuts all of that fishing
Yep.
for clients.
And the confidence of when you know who you're going out to talk to and look for, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's just such a game changer, and it just feels refreshing, and it becomes something that you own, not paying somebody else. Like, when you you go spend $10,000 with a branding agency, it's not anything that you own. You can't learn to go out and do the branding. If the brand doesn't work, you end up throwing it away. Like,
Right.
invest into learning this about yourself and who you want to work with and who you like to work with, and how to put all of this stuff together. And then everything else kind of falls into place after that.
Yes. And I definitely believe that is so true. And because people do spend a lot of money, and I think we've all went through when we started our businesses because we hear you need this, you need that, you need this, but we never hear it the way you're presenting it, Jason.
I'm telling you, 150. So it's $150 for the membership. We do live weekly mentorships. We provide you all the software. You get all of the education. You get like everything for $150, and you're going to get a free trial, right? So you get 14-day free trial. In 14 days, you can use all of this, go get set up. You can generate leads for free. Probably turn off a bunch of other softwares because
Right.
like our software covers, like it'll replace Calendly, it'll replace ClickFunnels, it'll replace Teachable, like and Kajabi. Like there's all of these different softwares that it replaces for you. Keeps it simple. You can replace $500. We had one client that replaced $5,000 a year worth of software.
Wow.
So instant ROI. And then you can go out. The first, she's definitely crushed it. One of our clients, she turned a 10-minute Zoom meeting that she was a guest on. There was 150 people in the room. She pulled 73 leads out, and they didn't even know they were going to hear from her.
Wow. That's amazing.
So just go, like, that's my win. Like, those are the stories that I want to hear. I want people to sign up and then be like, I did this and I've already got leads coming in.
Wow. I am so glad we met, Jason.
Me too, Ida.
I can't wait to get over to your website and see what's going on and really use it to do what I need to do in my business. So thank you so much for saying yes. And it's definitely a pleasure to meet you. And again, how do my viewers and listeners get a hold of you?
Go to gobigformula.com.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty. This has been amazing. I'm telling you, I love doing this.
It's fun, right?
It is so fun because I learned so much from the people, the guests, and it's like, who knew?
Yeah. There's so much. It's getting out there and communicating with people. I'm telling you, that's where it's at.
Yes. So thank you so much, Jason. And I can't wait to have you back again.
You anytime. Hey, when you start your Go Big Formula membership, when you have something that you want to really talk about and dig into, let me know. We'll just throw it as an episode for your show.
All righty. Sound like a plan.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ida.
Thank you to our guests and you, our valued audience, for stopping by. We truly appreciate you. Many blessings to you and yours.